Now this is a video I've been wanting to do for a little bit, but just haven't yet. And this is the Operation or Raid tier list for Star Wars The Old Republic. So we're going to start with the first one, Eternity Vault. Now this was my first raiding experience, and like the first time doing it, it was awesome. It was like the first time I have ever even raided. If we're looking at this list of all the other raids, it's just, I gotta put it in D. It feels a little dirty putting it in D because it was my first raiding experience and it was awesome, but just looking at the scope of everything and like the challenge difficulty of it, looking at the entire field, I think it's in D tier. Now, Karaga's Palace, I'm going to do the same. To me, it's on the same playing field as Eternity Vault. I have horrible memories from Karaga's Palace doing the Heavy Fabricator droid. For some reason, that puzzle is just a pug breaker. I put it on the same category definitely as Eternity Vault, where it's pretty easy peasy unless you get into a group that really struggles on the puzzle. To me, it's just one of those operations where, similar to Eternity Vault, you just do it for the rewards, like the tech frags and so on. Explosive Conflict. Definitely not D or C or S. I wouldn't put it in S tier. I'm thinking A or B. I'm going to put it in B tier. I do like Explosive Conflict. It only has 4 raid bosses. Zorn and Toth I really enjoy. Firebrand and Stormcaller I enjoy. Minefield is just kind of hysterical, especially if you got a group that's kind of memeing. Oh, there's been so many times I've been in there and people just blowing up to the minefield and I just like pass out with laughter. And I really like the Kephis fight in there. I think on my raid boss tier list, I put Kephis in A. I really do like that fight. I think that's fair to put Explosive Conflict in B tier. Now, Terror from Beyond. On my old raid team, Mystery Inc., there was always a debate between us between Terror from Beyond, like the actual boss, and Styrak, like which one is worse. And I believe Ray was always just adamant that Terror from Beyond was way worse than Styrak, and I was always in the realm of Styrak is E tier, one of the worst fights in the game. I rank that fight so low just because how much I want to avoid it. The amount of times I've done Scum and Villainy and the groups just call it at Cartel Warlords and just don't go do the final boss, I don't have that many fingers to count that high. I'm going to put Terror from Beyond in B. I almost put it in C. I don't want to put everything in the same grade, but I think Terror from Beyond is B. Scum and Villainy. Now, I don't think it deserves D, but I'm going to put Scum and Villainy in C, and this is just because how much I hate Styrak. If that fight was shorter, I would probably put it in B, maybe even A. Just because it has a fight that I avoid, and there's groups that I've done it with where we just call it when we get to that fight because that fight is just so miserable. I think that brings it down a couple. So we're going to put Scum and Villainy in C. Oh, Dread Fortress. Now, if you remember, you'll know that Dread Fortress was the place that my hatred for deception started. That's where it spawned, that's where it began. Because doing Dreadmaster Brontis with even one deception sin is miserable. But I had 2! On my raid boss tier list, I had Dreadmaster Brontis in S tier. The raid overall, I'm going to put in A. I don't think it's quite there in terms of like S tier, but Brontis itself, in my opinion, is an S tier fight. But the raid overall, I feel cozy with putting in A. Now, Dread Palace. This is where you fight the remaining Dreadmasters after fighting Styrak and Scum and Villainy and Dreadmaster Brontis and Dread Fortress. Dread Palace, I think it also deserves an A tier. The fights all feel pretty unique, and I like the lore of it, where it's just each fight is a different Dreadmaster, and then at the end you fight all of them. Just like thematically, I think it's a really cool raid, so I'm going to put that one in A tier. The Ravagers. There's only one fight in there I enjoy, and it's Master Blaster. I think because of that, I'm going to put it in C tier. And like the first 3 fights you can get done in probably it just feels like 5 minutes, and then you're just boom, there's Master Blaster. Now, Temple of Sacrifice. Now, Revan, S tier in my opinion, but kind of like the Ravagers where it's like overall, I don't really enjoy the other fights. Like the Underlurker in there is just a buggy mess, and then the Revenant Commander fight is just, it's very easy, but it's so easy that a lot of the times I'm in groups and we get there, people just go AFK because like, oh, this fight's easy, we don't need everybody. So many people go AFK that we ended up wiping, and it's just really annoying. Now again, Revan, in my opinion, S tier fight. But the raid overall, I'm going to put C. Whoa, not D. No, not B. Okay, there was a little bit of a misclick there. I don't think it's on the same category as Explosive Conflict, Terror from Beyond, Dread Fortress, Dread Palace. Again, Revan, S tier for me. But just the raid itself overall, nah. There's a lot of times where it's like, hey, do you want to do TOS? We're just doing Revan. Now, Gods from the Machine. I would like to think most can agree that Gods from the Machine is S tier. The amount of posts I see for people like looking for raid members or just looking for a raid team, the end goal is always Gods. Now, there's been 2 raids that have come out since Gods. You got Duxon and R4, but it's like the end game always seems Gods. Like, people start teams, people join teams, we're going to go through all the legacies, do XYZ, but Gods is the last stop the team's going to do. I think Gods is the best raid in the game. Nahut, the 3rd fight in there, easy S tier, and a lot of the other fights I would put an A tier. And I feel, hopefully, that this is one that most people can agree with. My B, C, D, I feel like those could be maybe fluctuated a little bit, but this is just kind of what I'm feeling right now. My S tier, Gods, is always going to be an S tier, and Dread Fortress and Dread Palace will probably always be an A tier for me. Now, Duxon. Duxon is another one of those raids where there's fights I really enjoy, and then there's fights I really hate. Now, because of that, I'm going to put it in B tier. I think that's fair. I don't think, God, it is plagued with bugs, and there's a lot of just extra bullshit in that raid. Duxon does get a lot of shit. Like, there's a lot of the times, you'll be in like a Discord call, or I'll see just like on Discord feeds where it's like, oh, Duxon sucks. Honestly, I've had a lot of fun in there. Mostly that's because of the people I'm doing it with, but I have a lot of good memories in Duxon, and because of that, I'm going to put it in B tier. Now, R4. Whew. Okay, I need to start with the fights. IP, I really enjoy. Watchdog, I really enjoy. Knopf, hate that fight. It's trying to be like a Tyrant's fight with like the platforms, but that fight is just a mess, and I do not like it. I do like Lady Dom. I wasn't sure where I was going to put it, but then just talking the words that I just spoke, I'm going to put it in B tier. I feel like there could be an argument for maybe C, B. I don't think it's quite A. I don't think it's in the same category as the Dread Ops. I feel comfortable putting it in B tier. All right, I thought about it, and this is what I'm feeling. So in D tier, we got Eternity Vault and Kraga's Palace. C tier, we got Scum and Villainy, The Ravagers, and Temple of Sacrifice. B tier, we got Explosive Conflict, Terror from Beyond, Duxon, and the R4 Anomaly. A tier, we got Dread Fortress and Dread Palace. And S tier, we have Gods from the Machines. Now again, depending on the day and the mood I'm in, some of these may fluctuate, but Gods will always be S tier. That is the one that is just ironclad in stone. It's not moving. And that is my completed raid tier list for Star Wars The Old Republic. Nice, smooth sailing, straightforward, easy peasy. Hope you all enjoyed, and thank you for watching.